A very good evening to you. Thanks for joining us on the midweek edition of the show. I'm Yemi Adebayo. We're going to spend a few minutes we have on the show tonight. Is the abridged version. We're going to spend a few minutes we have doing a post-mortem of the qualifiers for the 2022 FIFA World Cup. We'll touch base with the South American region, and we'll also look at the format that the Europeans will use in deciding the teams that will join the 10 that has already qualified. We'll look at all of that. Of course, it's Wednesday. We'll take a look at what's happening in the NBA as well. Let me just quickly, straight away, introduce Kade Ahmed. He joins me as we take this trip together. Greetings to you, Kade. Thanks for finding out time to be with me on the show tonight.
Yeah, good evening, Yemi. Great to be back on the show as always.
All right. We're pressed for time, but I think it's only fair that I allow you to say something about the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Not the performance we wanted, but then again, we have to console ourselves with the fact that we secured a place in the playoffs.
It was lethargic, no doubt, against Cape Verde. We expected the Super Eagles to steamroll, but from what we've witnessed of the team in the qualifying series, especially against Liberia and even Central African Republic, we would have just tempered our expectation with moderation. And that was what I did going into the game against Cape Verde. Although we managed to qualify for the final round of the qualifiers going into the World Cup 2022, but expectations are not quite high for the Eagles. It is quite disappointing. A few people have called for the heads of Ghana, but going into the AFCON with just a little over 50 days, you would say maybe it might be too rash. But the Franco-German needs to do much more to get the team to be playing very, very well. And if you have teams ahead of you in the pecking order on the continent and you want to qualify for the World Cup in 2022, you're supposed to be doing much more than you did yesterday. And we're expecting even better performances against the opponent, whoever they get, but the hope is not quite high. And when the teaming fans are not so expectant, it means there's something wrong somewhere.
All right. Let's start off looking at the African continent and the teams that have made it to the playoffs. Let's just let our viewers see that list. I'll get your thoughts, Kade. 10 teams through to the final round of the qualifications. Of course, Nigeria in the mix. We have Egypt, Morocco, Mali, Ghana, Senegal, DR Congo, Nigeria, Algeria, Cameroon, and the Carthage Eagles of Tunisia. The draws will be held on December 18, and the playoff is fixed for March 2022. And so some people are already saying, God, let us play. Nigerians like to put God into everything, which is not bad, but then you still have to do your job. A lot of people are already saying, let's have Mali, let's have DR Congo. And some skeptics will say, even if you get those teams, with the way the Super Eagles are playing, can they even beat those teams?
But no doubt, we have our work cut out. Fortunately for us, we are in Pot A, where we have nations like Senegal, Algeria, Tunisia, Morocco, and of course, Nigeria. But if you've got the likes of Mali, you've got Ghana, you've got DRC, these are equally good African teams on their day. And when you've been dishing out performances, game in, game out, morale is not so high from your end. And whoever you get want to take advantage of that. That is why I'm saying Ghana has got to do much more right now. Because if you say, okay, we should fire Ghana, which of the best coaches do you think is around? And how many weeks or time does he have to actually think on the lads and getting them to winning? So Ghana and his assistant, thankfully, Salisu Yusuf is back. We understand that he knows how to get the best out of the players. We should expect that they would take their gamemanship up a notch because that is what is expected right now. And with Nigeria out of the World Cup, it's not going to be good news for teaming football fans of Nigeria on the continent and the world over. But we need to do much more based on what we've witnessed before. It's not been impressive, and it's quite unfortunate that despite the plethora of the players we've got and how far they've been playing together, they still can't win convincingly.
Yeah, that's the worry. Kyrie, you talked about Ghana. There's this controversy brewing. Of course, South Africa not happy with the way Bafana were eliminated. Of course, they are placing question marks on the center referee in that final group game between the Black Stars of Ghana and the Bafana of South Africa. And as high as SAFA President Danny Jordan, he's been saying, look, we're not happy with what has happened. We're protesting it. We're questioning some of the decisions made. Let's quickly listen to Danny Jordan, the SAFA President, and of course, Hugo Bruce, the coach of Bafana.
Our responsibility as SAFA, National Association, is to recognize first whether there's any bias that we can prove against our team. Two, we have to resist and expose such bias. And thirdly, is to report it to FIFA. Any match manipulation involving our national teams or FIFA competitions. So what is match manipulation? And what are we placing before FIFA? Match manipulation of a match is when there's unlawful influence or unlawful altering of the direction or the cause of the match or the result of the match or any aspect of the match. And so the first question that we must answer, well, was there unlawful, either deliberately ignoring or deliberately applying?
You can be sure of it. The determination in the team was there. We wanted to do a good result. A good result is winning, but that we knew that it should be very difficult. But we should play a game to be qualified for the next round. And I saw that on the players. I saw our behavior. There was concentration. Everything was there to do a good game. And then the game started. And after 50 minutes, I went to the bench and I said to my two assistants, forget it, forget it. Ghana will win this game.
All right, Cowdy. I mean, we can't sit in judgment of the center referee, but then again, we can't tell the South Africans to keep quiet. They feel aggrieved. So we'll do what we can do, which is leaving it in CAF's hands. But my question to you, Cowdy, is there anything CAF can do about this? Can the outcome of that game, because they always tell us the referee's decision is final, can the outcome, is it possible? Is there the slightest possibility that the result of that game could be upturned? And if it is, what would be the ramifications for the center referee?
Well, I think, I think it's the call of FIFA because it's the FIFA World Cup qualifying game.
Okay, yeah.
And right now, they've already filed complaints to FIFA. And do not forget that there was a precedent in 2018. And it involved South Africa and Ghana. South Africa and Senegal, I beg your pardon. South Africa got a penalty that was questionable. Senegal appealed, and the game was replayed. Senegal won and qualified eventually. So there is a precedent. So now South Africa are feeling outdone by, and with the benefit of hindsight, if you watch that replay again and again, one can say Daniel Amatsi kind of dived in a way. And if you've seen it again and again, you will say that filing a complaint over that controversial penalty means they have a case. So FIFA, with the objective on maintaining the integrity of the sport, will look into it. And if there is a case, who knows, a replay might just be called because there is a precedent already. So FIFA will likely look into the case and would hope that the result is fair on all parties involved. But South Africa have a case based on what we've seen of the replay, and one wouldn't complain that they filed the grievance towards FIFA. So we're waiting on FIFA to actually take action over the complaint.
All right, we'll keep our fingers crossed. We'll be monitoring that. Let's see what happens. Let's go to Europe quickly. 10 teams already qualified. Another set of 12 teams would be in the playoffs, and 3 out of the 12 will qualify. But for the teams that have qualified, Belgium, Croatia, Denmark, England, France, Germany, Serbia, Spain, Switzerland, and the Netherlands, these 10 have qualified. But you have big teams like Portugal, Italy in the playoffs. And, of course, we hear that it's going to be, the playoffs will be in 3 phases. We'll see what's going to happen. South America is the next place to go. Brazil, Argentina qualified, Ecuador, and Colombia. Peru is in 5th place. Probably will play the qualifiers against a team from Oceania. But that's what has happened in the South American region. Your thoughts on, because Europe and South America, 90% of, in fact, all the World Cups have been won by countries from those 2 regions, and, you know, strong representations always at the World Cup. So any surprises for you in those 2 regions?
Right, the usual suspects made it to the World Cup already, and the only surprise will be coming from Portugal and Italy. And if Serbia get the better of Portugal, that has got CR7 and Fernandes, you could say that on some days, great teams just fail to bring their A game. And with 10 European teams qualifying for the World Cup, and of course, the usual suspects from CONMEBOL talking about Argentina and Brazil, you would say it promises to be a feisty affair when the Qatar World Cup starts eventually a year from now, because World Cup is going to be from November to December in 2022. Another interesting aspect is the fact that for the remaining 12 teams who are going to be in the playoffs on the European continent, it's going to be in 3 phases. And it's just 3 teams that would emerge. So it makes it even more feisty. And if you look at the African side, we have playoffs now of 10 teams where 5 teams would emerge. And from the CONMEBOL aspect, where Argentina and Brazil have qualified, we still have Colombia, we'll have Peru, we'll have Chile, and we also have Ecuador. So for Ecuador, who have got 23 points right now, so you would say they're likely to qualify, and Colombia maybe picking the 4th spot, and the 5th team going into playoffs. It makes it really, really quite interesting. Yeah. And for Netherlands, they're qualifying for the World Cup again after missing out in 2018, and it just makes for an interesting encounter when the World Cup begins eventually in Qatar a year from now.
Yeah, that will be very interesting. We have a few minutes left on the show, Cardi. Let's come to your turf now. Let's talk NBA. Let's start with the results. Some of the matches already played. Then we'll allow you to take us through what to expect in the upcoming games. But let's start with the results. Golden State Warriors defeating the Brooklyn Nets 117-99. Philadelphia 76ers losing to the Utah Jazz 120 points to 85. San Antonio Spurs lost to the LA Clippers, Los Angeles Clippers, 106 points to 92. All right, Cowdy, your thoughts on this one, and probably start with the Warriors and Nets.
Well, Steph is going to Steph. And on a good day where he had 9 points from downtown out of 13 efforts. And by the way, that was his 37th game where he's going to register 9 points or more. And he got just 37 points in 29 minutes. In less than 30 minutes, he got 37 points. So Steph is already making case for himself as the #1 candidate for the regular season MVP. We were all looking forward to this game because his former teammate, Kevin Durant, is the point man for the Nets. But the Nets struggled. And for the Golden State Warriors that has got 2 veterans in Andre Iguodala and Green, they were able to defend whatever onslaught that the Nets were bringing, talking about Kevin Durant and, of course, James Harden. And on the night, it was just Warriors all the way. And they now have a 12-2 record. Basically, they've played 14 games, they've won 12, and they've gone to only losing. And it means that they're one of the top candidates for the championship at the end of the season.
All right, let's take a look at the fixtures, and I'm not going to reel it out. I know you know the fixtures already. That's it on your screen. If you can, in a minute, a little over a minute, just take us through what to expect.
Well, the marquee game is the one between the Bucks and the Lakers. These two sides won the championship in the past 2 years. The Lakers have been huffing and puffing. For the Bucks, Chris Middleton is back, and Chris Middleton offers you options both defensively and defensively. So I'm going to stick my neck out for the Bucks in this game. Another game that is key is the one between the Bulls and the Trailblazers. The Bulls have surprised everybody this season. They're on the 10-4 record, playing against the Trailblazers. The Trailblazers too have not been impressive, but I want to see how DeMar DeRozan and of course Damian Lillard would par in this encounter. Then the Celtics and the Hawks. For the Celtics, well, 7-7, Hawks 6-9 is going to be between the team that wants it the most. And the game between the Thunder and the Rockets. The Thunder and the Rockets, basically, they're still struggling. And looking at the one between the Mavericks and the Suns, the Mavericks will be missing Luka Doncic, but Kristaps Porzingis basically has been impressive with 61 points in 2 games. And for the Suns with a 10-3 record, 61 points in the last 2 games for Porzingis. And the Suns basically being impressive and doing what they've done last season, continuing this season as well. I think the Suns, they're going to emerge victorious later tonight.
All right, we'll keep our fingers crossed. We'll see what happens in those games. Kade Ahmed, I want to thank you for your time, for being with me on the show today. Always a pleasure doing this with you.
Same here, Yemi.